for Caitlin and Nalyssa. I think there's mics going around. Whoever would like to start. In the middle there on the right.
For both of you, how would you just assess, how the game went, the positives that you took from it, and also the negatives of not being able to come through with the win?
Yeah, I'd say our energy was high throughout the whole game. Our focus in the first half was just to keep pushing the ball. And in the second half, we kind of wanted to execute a little bit more, but I'd say throughout the whole game, we kind of had high energy and we executed well.
Yeah, I would say the same. I thought we played with really good pace. I thought our defense was pretty good. But other than that, there's a lot of good to take away from it. I think at the same time, it's a preseason game, so don't get too disappointed by it. Just go back, watch the film, learn from it, and get ready for our next one.
Hey Caitlin, your fans showed up and showed out tonight. How did that make you feel hearing them and seeing them tonight?
Yeah, I think the fans they're what makes women's basketball so fun. I think over the course of the last couple of years, it's just grown and grown, and for them to come out and support during my first WNBA game, it's really special, not only for myself, but both teams on the court. They get to see how good this product is, and I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game, really, for women's basketball, to kick off this year. Just a tremendous game coming down to the wire, both teams competing, and that's going to be the story of the entire year.
Caitlin, as you, over here in the back. Hey, as you continue to make your transition into the professional ranks, there will be these moments where you have opportunities to learn. And without going into the minutia of looking at the film and anything, was there something that you have already picked out of tonight, something that you learned tonight?
I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot. I think, I don't know. It comes down to every single possession. I think that's the biggest thing is when you're on the court with this much talent, you can't take a second off. You relax for 1 second and they're going to beat you on a screen, they're going to beat you on a whatever it is. I think that's the biggest thing is you cannot relax in this league for 1 second. So I think getting used to that, just playing hard every single second. But yeah, I think overall we did a really good job, played everybody, executed. I thought we could have done a little bit better job, slowed it down a little bit in the second half and got into our sets a little better. But overall, we ran the floor really, really well.
Caitlin, not the outcome you wanted, right here, sorry. Not the outcome you wanted, but still your first pro game. What will you remember most about tonight?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think just the atmosphere and getting to put on your jersey for the first time for a real game is something that's super special. I think, I remember my first game in college really well. I think I'll remember my first game in the W really well, whether it's this preseason game or whether it's our first game at Connecticut. I think it's just, it's a big milestone for somebody that's always dreamed of playing in the WNBA.
Caitlin, you scored 21 points in 28 minutes. In spite of the loss, the defense was draping you. I wonder, how were you able to exploit the matchup?
I thought our pick and roll was really good. I thought we could even got more pick and roll stuff. I thought I came off screens well, and my teammates found me for some good looks. Yeah, I think those were kind of the biggest things is came off screens well. I think at times I don't need to dribble it so much, just move the ball, reverse the ball, and set and use screens a little better. I think that'll help me conserve some of my energy a little bit better. But I think those are probably the biggest things.
Got the front left here.
Good question for you. Watching you play this game and then your last games in Iowa, this didn't seem that much different. Did it feel and flow the same way for you when you were at Iowa just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think the biggest transition is just the physicality. Everybody's super physical. It doesn't always get called, so I would say that's the biggest thing. I think, 1 through 5 or every single person on every roster that we're going to play is so talented. I mean, the talent level is obviously very different than in college, so getting used to that, no matter who subs into the game, it's not really anybody you can ever relax off of because that's how competitive this league is. People are just too good for that. So, I think my biggest goal coming into tonight was continue to be myself, have fun playing basketball, be aggressive. Thought that's what I did. So I think a lot to be proud of.
Second row on the right here. Chloe?
Yeah, Caitlin, I was about to ask you, I know you said earlier today you consider this a successful outing if you stayed true to yourself and your game. Like, how do you think you did that tonight?
I thought I did pretty well. I thought could have definitely taken care of the ball a little bit better. I think all of us could have done a better job with that, too many turnovers. That's what Coach told us after the game. But overall, I think I played really hard. I think I, executed. I think there's going to be a lot to go back to the film and look at and learn from, because a lot of it is kind of different from college, just from, technique standpoint or, scheme standpoint of what we do. It's not always going to be the same. So I think those are the biggest things. But I think overall, I came in here and just played really hard, and, that's always something you can be proud of.
We got second row on the left.
Questions for Nalyssa. Could you just speak about the team chemistry? I mean, you guys seem very seamless out there.
Oh yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, like I said, we all are pulling for each other, and we have one big goal this year, and that's just to do better than we did last year and just to make the playoffs. So I feel like when your team is on the same page, it makes it easy for us to play.
We got back row on the right.
Yeah, Nalyssa, it feels like, just a second ago you were playing at Baylor, but at this point you're really one of the more veteran players on this team. Just how are you settling into that role?
I mean, it's my third year, so I've had a lot of time to adjust to this league, and I feel like I'm finally getting comfortable, and I feel like it's going to show more on the floor.
We got third row on the right there. Alexa, go ahead.
Caitlin, earlier on in the game, you had a step back three over Natasha Howard, and then kind of towards the end, she had that block on you. Can you just kind of walk us through both those plays and just, I don't know if you thought of it as a welcome to the W moment or just, good play by her?
Yeah, I think in the first half, got a switch, 1-4 switch, and I think, was just able to get a step back three on her. Honestly, she played really good defense and contesting it pretty well. And then there in the fourth, I'm pretty sure the shot clock was winding down, so I either had to shoot a mid-range jump shot or drive in, and she was kind of over and helped defense and just made a good play on the ball. And yeah, I mean, lucky enough we were able to get the ball back with 2 seconds, and we didn't run the cleanest play, but yeah, I mean, she just made a good play on the ball.
We got front row on the left here.
Hey, Caitlin. One more question about an individual play. I know not too long ago you were playing against JC in the Big Ten. Then you had that moment where she kind of lost her footing and you hit that three-pointer. Can you just kind of talk about maybe what that experience was like for you hitting that shot?
Yeah, I think it was a good play. Honestly, she played pretty good defense. Yeah, but I think it's always fun to see people that you go up against in college and come to the league and have great success. I mean, obviously she was 2 for 2 for tonight. Made both her shots, both threes. She's a really good player. She takes care of the ball well. Yeah, I think she'll be a really good asset for them all year long, but she's physical. She's a pesky defender. I think she was on the Big Ten all-defensive team every year that I was at Iowa. So happy for her, excited for her, and I know it was fun for her and Celeste to go up against each other.
The front row on the right here.
Caitlin, you said pregame that you wanted to soak in the environment in your first professional game. Just that first three, when you caught the ball and you were open, just what's going through your mind when you hit that shot and you hear such a loud ovation in a road game?
Yeah, I think it's fun. We ran a good baseline out of bounds play, and they got a little confused on it, and I was able to get a pretty clean look for my first shot, so it's always nice to see your first shot go in as a shooter. But honestly, when you're running up and down and you're in the game, you don't hear the roar of the crowd. But the crowd was great all night. That's what you would expect with a sellout. Those are going to be the crowds all year long. So whether they're cheering for you or cheering against you, you better get used to it. And it's always just a fun environment to play in.
I think we got time for 2 more. Starting back on the left.
Caitlin, Fran Harris, I know it was the first game, preseason game, but you were not on the floor the entire time. What do you think the adjustment is going to be now that there's a possibility that you might leave the floor or watch most of your career? Mm-hmm. And whether you had 3 fouls or 4 fouls, you never left the floor. Mm-hmm. What do you think that experience is going to be like, and have you prepared for that?
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it's probably going to be nice. I think I can, play a lot harder when I'm in, and at Iowa, I had to find moments within the game to reset and take a break, whether that was on offense or defense. So we have so much talent on our roster. I don't need to play 40 minutes, and I think that's going to allow me to, when I'm in the game, to produce an even better product and play even harder when I'm in. And I think that'll still be a learning thing for me is you don't have to dribble and create everything for yourself. Use screens, use your teammates. So I think that'll be an adjustment over the course of the first couple weeks and first couple months for myself.
Last one in the back row.
For Nalyssa, she just mentioned it's going to be sellout crowds. It's going to be like this all year round. It was a preseason game. How do you guys, as teammates, as a family, approach what's going to be coming up here in this entire season?
I mean, I feel like you just approach it with poise. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. At the end of the day, we're here to play basketball, regardless of who's in the stands. So we just got to come and do our job. But it's going to be exciting to be playing in front of all these fans.
Thank you, everybody. Bring Coach in next.